Three. I'm gonna get you. To Dr. AG.
Oh, okay. No, I'm just saying, do they mention what that is in the letter?
Oh, not in the letter. No, okay. But we can look that.
Yeah, it's just meaning that he thinks they're gonna be there's gonna be an appeal. That's all.
You're right. Okay, dear Judge Supermanian, I'm writing to express my grave concern over the prospect of Sean Combs being released from custody. While I appreciate the fairness you have shown throughout this proceeding, I feel compelled to be unequivocal about the danger he poses to the public and to the individuals who have risked everything by coming forward. Mr. Combs has a long, well-documented history of violent, coercive, and retaliatory behavior. Over the years, he has repeatedly escaped meaningful accountability, and each time has only reinforced his sense of impunity. If he is released now, I have no doubt he will see it as yet another license to continue intimidating, threatening, and harming people who challenge or expose him. Many of us have firsthand knowledge of the fear he instills in those around him. I can say without hesitation that he is a serious and immediate threat to victims, witnesses, and the broader community. His pattern of violence, particularly while engaged in the trafficking of individuals for prostitution, combined with unchecked substance abuse, makes it clear that he is not ready to re-enter society safely or responsibly. To release Mr. Combs without substantial consequence would undermine the integrity of this process and send a dangerous message that wealth and influence can shield someone indefinitely from accountability. It will also endanger those who cooperated with this investigation under subpoena, who are already living in fear of retaliation. I urge you in the strongest possible terms to prioritize the safety of victims and witnesses over consideration of leniency. Over any consideration of leniency. Mr. Combs has had countless opportunities to change, and he has chosen instead to escalate his harmful conduct. Allowing him back into the community now would be a profound mistake. Thank you for your time and for your commitment to protecting the public from those who repeatedly demonstrate they are unwilling to respect the law. Respectfully, Deontay Nash. That's the letter.
Yeah, when I saw the verdict earlier, first thing I thought to myself is if he goes home at any point, between now and the next 5 years, he would be smart to sit his ass down in his house. I don't know, take up some type of hobby, I don't know, trade, get his kids on point, make sure that they're good, and just stay in the background, just never show his face again. If he's smart. Is he gonna do that?
Nope. So the update from Inner City Press is that there will be a hearing after the submission of these letters. The judge will be reconvening the parties in court at 5 p.m. So that's when we'll get another update. Continue the discussion about the letters and whether or not he should be released or whatever. He should be. Or anything. I mean, just from that, I mean, I don't think there's
I don't know what other people think. I don't think there's much to discuss, and it's pretty pro forma. They're just asking that the judge release him on bail. And when they said something about appropriate conditions, that would probably be house arrest, surrender of a passport, and probably some sort of monitoring. That's probably what it would count as appropriate conditions or whatever. Yeah, I don't see that there's much to discuss there. I mean, their claim he's facing 20 rather than life, so the chances of him fleeing are lessened. I don't know. But the prosecutor does make a credible challenge that if he is out, he can intimidate. Sentencing hearing, they are going to have impact statements at the sentencing hearing. They are allowed to call other witnesses to testify, to provide evidence to him being a menace. And these testimonies can go to crimes related to what he was accused of, but weren't part of the original case. So in the letter, they said something about he has a year's history of doing something. So they'll have impact statements on that, I'm sure, for the sentencing hearing. So there's a potentiality that he could intimidate those people and thus affect their participation in the sentencing. I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see what the judge, how the judge comes down on it. Yep, that's right, Johnny. He out there. He can get them people who got the civil cases. Yeah, he can still be a menace. Yeah, I'm sure. What a day. He has like 80 to 110 civil cases pending right now.
Oh wait, he's beating Trump? Goddamn.
And it is like, I mean,
150 and it's down to 8.
Oh my God! I mean, 80. Like, it's just, and the thing is that, like, I agree with like 95% of what is written in the prosecution's letter. The only problem is, like, the only problem is, look, y'all did not prove your case, okay? Or at least the jury didn't believe that you proved your case. So this person is looking at prostitution charges. And, if, for example, was it witness tampering? Wasn't that one of the RICO charges? Wasn't that one of the predicates for RICO? Witness tampering. Wasn't that, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, if he had gotten one of those, then that would be different. But he was not found guilty of that. Like, you know what I mean? These are things that came out during the trial. So the judge can't just take that and be like, yeah, they're right. Like, you can't punish somebody for stuff that you did not prove. And meanwhile, we know he is a fucking asshole. And I totally agree that he thinks now that he's fucking invincible. Right. But Dr. Goddess, the judge, he can't consider the evidence that was presented in making the hearing. Yeah. Okay. Can't consider, because all of that is connected to the charges on which he was found guilty. Right? That he took them across for prostitution, which involves a level of coercion. Both of them testified to that. So the coercion is inside of the charge that he was convicted of. Okay, that's good. And then, like, the other thing is, I'm wondering when is the sentencing, right? Because if, I get, like, Diddy don't want to go back inside, but, like, Negro, you ain't going to be, like, I'm just saying to myself, maybe he, like so many of the toxic people on this app, think that he's not going to do any more time. Maybe that's what you're saying. You're saying. Well, let me just ask. Do you think that because he thinks, because he knows that his lawyers are going to appeal, and because he thinks that like whatever his sentence is going to be is going to be light, that he should just go home, period. Like, you know what I mean? Like now he's like, yeah, like that dude that was in here, time served, we'll see what happens, I'm gonna be on appeal, and I'm just gonna be out. Like I doubt I'm gonna have to go back to prison. That's what I'm thinking is running through his sick mind.
Yeah, I don't know about that part, but on the question of when the sentencing, I mean, like, wow. Well, this case has accelerated. Sorry.
But y'all don't think his money's long enough?
They cutting trees in the neighborhood, so they got those big machines. But everything has been accelerated. So if the judge wants to get done before the 4th of July, he might do sentencing tomorrow. But usually, and they may already have their briefs on deck, their motions on deck for the sentencing recommendation. They may have prepared those already. So somebody in the office is editing out the charges that he wasn't convicted of, and they're tailoring it to the specific convictions. They're probably working on that right now. But normally each side presents like a formal pleading to the court, and then the court they have like a hearing, the judge asks questions, then the judge goes and reads the pleadings from both sides, and then makes a decision. But usually they schedule the sentencing to give the judge time to do that. And in those pleadings, they'll reference like other cases and stuff. So the judge has to have the clerk like look those up. They determine whether the precedent is relevant. So I don't know. His sentencing could not be for a couple weeks, but they've been speeding up everything. So he could, if they turn in their pleadings today, he could sentence tomorrow. You know. But the sentencing is a process too. It's like a little mini hearing sometimes. So, I don't know.
So Quinn said they're probably going to let him go home with conditions. I'm thinking that the judge probably has a general idea as to what he's going to sentence Diddy to. You know what I mean? So, but maybe it's if an appeal is filed. Because if I was the prosecutor, if I was the defense, I would have the appeal on deck immediately. You know what I mean? I would be filing it as soon as the judge was like, "All right, court's adjourned." After the sentencing, I would be filing my appeal. So I get it, but so maybe that's why he's thinking like I may or may not let him go home. Anyway, those are my thoughts. But go ahead.
I have a question. Yeah, I got a question. What has any Diddy supporters, come in doing a victory lap, and also, like, what does a victory look like? He doesn't pay for their side. He doesn't do any jail time because he is convicted of 2 things that could do 10 years each. So, like, what is it that would take where they don't do a victory lap? Is it 5 years? Is it 10 years? Like, how does that work? And then separate question, what does the Venn diagram look like of people who support Trump still and people who support Diddy?
Well, yes, people are taking victory laps. They've been coming in the room. Clubhouse has over 20 rooms on the Diddy trial. Most of them are victory laps. A lot of people are very happy that he didn't get charged with RICO. And a lot of people are also happy that because he didn't get charged with RICO, he won't spend the rest of his life in prison. Some of his greatest offenders feel that he should spend another day in jail because he's already he's already done, quote, time served. And since, yeah, so, anybody else want to answer in terms of the Venn diagram? Child, they're aligned. I mean, isn't this the sign of the times? That you could be Trump, you could be Diddy, you could be any of these people, and you're never really going to be held accountable. And Patty, what were you saying earlier? Okay, Quinn, so I get that the RICO was a stretch, but what made it not a stretch for me was the 2 predicates, because I kind of felt like there were like 3 or 4 predicates that were proven, like bribery. I just don't understand, like, that the tape, hiding the tape from the Cassie meeting in the hotel, that seems so clearly to be bribery for me. Why are you saying like the entire RICO was a stretch? Explain yourself. Oh, and Pierre says anything more than 5 years is not a victory lap. A full sentence would derail his business. Ooh, you're right about that.
Ongoing litigation.
And we have business propositions for Diddy.
But he could get out on parole. Let's say they give him 5 years. He could get out on parole early, right? Theoretically.
Yeah. Because, I mean, look, y'all, according to the law, I mean, and this is what is so sad, because Diddy is so slick. He has never been charged with anything. Just think about that. This man has never been charged with anything. Shine went to jail for him, right? Steve Stout, I don't remember what happened,
Man,
but
Sean
like,
went to jail for himself. He's a fool. Sean's a fool.
well, yeah, but he was a fool for Diddy.
Yeah, but he went to jail for himself. He wasn't manipulated. He did it because he was stupid.
He said that he was manipulated.
Yeah.
And he said he was betrayed.
But then you might as well say D-Dot was manipulated, because he went to prison for begging. Like, he took the charge.
Like, he didn't take the charge, he lost his case.
Performing our program manager and opening and solicitation procedures under 600.
I think Diddy threw him under the bus, is why he lost, but I don't remember, honestly. But he did lose his case, like, he took it to trial. And I think Diddy won, and Shine didn't. Right, but wasn't whatchamacallit charged as well? Diddy?
Civil Rights Act 64 and
You know what? I don't remember either, Sid. I have watched Shine's recent interviews.
Yeah.
So, and like, I'm a Libra, so I would have to go back in order to make a fair judgment. I would have to go back and look at what's what. But my point about Diddy is that he has gotten away with so much that wait, I think this was a response. Was it a response to Quinn or I don't remember. See, I got thrown off track. It'll come back to me. Brian said he's slick as baby oil. I know that's right. Oh, okay, all right. So I'm wrong for saying that Diddy was never accused, or no, that he was never charged. But wait, he was accused in civil suits and unproven claims of abuse, coercion. Oh, you're talking about the RICO. Okay. Abuse, coercion, and possibly trafficking related. Those actions, though serious, don't automatically imply a cohesive criminal. Okay. I mean, but it just seemed like the bribery. Okay, so here's the wait. So this is another question that I'm confused about. Why? Okay, wait. Why isn't there sex trafficking?
I'm sorry. Yeah, there's a trying to figure out if they would be brazen enough to say 10 years in jail and then 10 years house arrest. That would be still considered a win. I think that's a possibility. Any thoughts on that?
That's true. I agree with that.
So, when y'all talking about Sean, right? I'm not saying that. So, when Sean actually did shoot, but he was trying to claim it was self-defense. The problem was, it was supposed to be defending Diddy then. But the Diddy at the time, they had witnesses that placed Sean with the weapon, placed Sean with the situation. Sean's ass was trying to the documentary coming out later got it, bruh. But your ass still stuck at the motherfucker. I'm not shit. Let me tell you something. We cool with me and my daughter. I love my baby to death, but I'm not shooting. I'm not gonna be your shooter. We're not gonna get in situations like that. And if I'm in a situation like that I gotta pull out my gun. And then I think Diddy paid for his legal defense, and he was saying he was set up because it was Diddy that paid for his legal defense that allowed these people to testify against him. It was a bunch of bullshit. So mentally, I just feel like, dummy, why the fuck you shot? That for your career? Did you shoot because that's your home point you're trying to show out?
That's when
What about the lady who said
in my club days, I used to see Shine's cousins all the time, and they would always pop bottles in the. They always. You remember that hard top Lexus convertible? I remember they were the first ones to have that. They were always very fly in the club. Like, to me, it was always very obvious that Diddy paid these people off.
Yeah,
But look at Dick.
Okay, what about the
Sean?
woman who said she saw did he have the gun that shot her? What about?
So I don't know. So regardless of the woman, look at, if you Google that trial, Shine constantly says he was shooting in self-defense. You shot, bruh.
Hey, girl.
Okay. Look up the case, y'all. Just look it up. He shot. He shot. There's no doubt that he shot. It's his argument in court was it was self-defense.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up in a little bit.
And you know what's the worst part? He didn't even have to go to prison. They tried to offer him a plea deal.
Oh dear.
So we can blame Diddy all day for that situation, but that's a Shine problem. He blames Diddy because, like, again, even when you do the Google search, right, it's like, it's a different issue with Diddy, with him and Diddy. It's Diddy paid for my legal defense, so he set me up. Diddy paid people to snitch. Motherfucker, you sat in court and told these motherfuckers you was shooting in self-defense. I don't care who Diddy paid. You should have said I ain't shoot shit. Prove it.
So it's almost like, even though I'm okay. So it's like I hear what you're saying, Patty, because if Diddy is not a good person. Like, we already know this, and he has no problem throwing Sean under the bus. But if you said you were shooting, and then he found witnesses, you know what I mean, and they were like, like paying for the defense, and the defense is like, well, so what we want to do is, you know what I mean, just like bringing different people in and stuff like that, who were like, yeah, I saw Sean, and he, you know what I mean, like, once you say I shot, he made it easier to be thrown under the bus by Diddy. I guess that's what I'm
He
thinking.
didn't have no bus to be thrown under if he didn't shoot. Period.
Right, exactly. Right,
No
right.
bus.
And I'm saying,
no bus to throw me under.
yeah, but there's a bus to throw you under, even if you did shoot. You see what I'm saying?
Like, don't go to the club with me and shoot, because I'm snitching. I'm throwing you under the bus. I hate it for you. I friends, I even put money on your commissary. But I promise you, I'll put money on your commissary because you defended me. But at the same time, guess what? I'm still going to tell. As soon as the police come, I'll be like, hey, it wasn't me. Go ahead and wipe my hand. No residue. It was her. And I'll say it while you're standing there. It was you. Right. Go ahead and tell it, Dr. Goddess, because I ain't going to prison.
I remember Diddy had done in Cochran, right? We all know.
Did he?
He did. He did.
Oh dear.
Hey everybody, I got a quick question. And I'm hoping Dan could also answer this as well too. I'm trying to understand, what does a possible house arrest do for Diddy? What does that basically address differently than having the 2 sentences? Is it just basically, I know that he got acquitted of the heavy trafficking, but is it a way that Diddy's legal team can say, hey, granted we got acquitted for this, to make sure that this doesn't happen, we will agree to house arrest where you can monitor Diddy's home action, so that doesn't lead into it. Is it that simple, or is there something more complex that would be addressing? And thanks for any insights you can give.
Yeah, I mean, I just came up with that kind of idea. I'm not a lawyer or anything, but I know, like, with sentencing, they have options, right? And I've seen it to where they just do consecutive. As soon as you walk out the court, you go straight to jail. I've seen it to where they give you some like time, and then I see it where they say, okay, you're gonna do, consecutively, but in 10 years in good behavior, you can get out in 5, right? If they can, they can make this very difficult, or they can make this very, very easy. And just to kind of see like a sweet spot, like what would still look like a potential win. And the potential win is him not staying behind bars for 20 years, right? So in that case, that's where I come up with the idea of just, hey, maybe you can do 10. Like I can see a scenario where they say, hey, you have to do 10 for the first count with a potential of getting out in 7 if you have good behavior, and then the rest of the sentence you can serve at home under house arrest. Because I mean, I think just in my memory, just thinking about it, I mean, rich people get that house arrest shit,
but
right? They get that house arrest.
You see him getting max on both counts with no criminal history.
Blackmail, dude. I don't know. Like, do you remember Martha Stewart? She didn't serve her full thing too. She had a house arrest situation.
Yeah, but she didn't get max because she didn't get max sentences. What you're talking about is max on them charges. She had no plea deal.
But she's a white woman.
We're just talking about the charge itself, whether or not, without consideration of what or who he is. I agree with you that we sometimes have to factor that in. But if you're going to say that, then I'm going to say, well, he has money too. So I mean, the line is just. So I'm saying to you that you think, and I'm asking rather, that you think he's going to get max sentence on both, but they'll let him serve it in different ways.
Correct.
I think you're a lunatic about one of those things. First of all, I don't think he's going to get max sentence on either one of them.
I don't think so.
Because he doesn't have it. This is what people are not. No matter what you think about Sean or what you think his antics have been in the press, he doesn't have a criminal history, not on paper.
Yeah,
That matters.
No,
He has none. So I mean, that's going to factor into this decision. You can rest assured that his defense is going to say, that's going to be one of the first things that they say. He does not have a criminal history. You can't take into account hearsay and things that the people have said or his behavior as it pertains to anybody. Even though, obviously those things can factor into a judge's decision. I mean, his own personal decision, but in terms of the way he interprets that via the law, it has to be a fair sentence based on his history. And the history only matters on paper. It doesn't matter what you've done that I think that you've done. Because, I mean, the bottom line is just like, Patty said, he was exonerated of the thing that happened with Shine. He doesn't really have he doesn't have a criminal history that we know of in any real significant way, at least not in this way. So, I mean, that's going to factor into this decision.
I agree. I just think that, especially listening to that letter, right, or one of the letters that says, he could be a potential menace to the society, there's, retaliation, he's already had a history of, like, violent behavior, although he wasn't convicted of anything, he does have that as indicated by the testimony, so, that could play a factor in it, too. But again,
you mean a testimony that led to a not guilty verdict?
Well, okay.
But I'm just being devil's advocate. Yeah. I'm just saying, in terms of the way I would present that if I'm defense, the only history that matters is the one that I've been convicted for. The people that you've seen have gotten immediate sentences or been able to configure their sentences have had a criminal past and a history. Yes, those people don't get as much leeway. You've done shit before, but the things that you've seen or you perceive that I've done, that doesn't factor into Kate. That doesn't factor in. And if it does, and if on the off chance it's something that they stand it down, well, I mean, but I'm saying that anything is possible. This is me going with you. This is me saying, like, listen, yeah, he's black. The perception is that he can be violent, he can be retaliatory. Yes, if that happens, then. And the judge makes a decision based on those things, then they'll appeal the decision. They're already going to an appeal. They're already going to file an appeal. Good attorneys are always plan. So right now, they're going to file an appeal on this, and now I don't have to work on a RICO case. Now all I got to work on is this prostitution case. So I've dwindled this down to something I can actually work with now. Yeah, it's going to be difficult. But I'm saying that in this point, my perception is he's going to do, and I don't really know, I think he's going to do some time off the top of my head. I think he's going to do some time. I don't think that he's going to get the maximum on either one of these. I think he's going to get probably somewhere between the midway and the minimum.
We're super happy.
So I could see a scenario where he does 2 and 2. Now that I can see. Because the minimum on this is 2 years. That has to be the case. So they have to. So just look at it from the aspect of 4 years minimum. Some way split up. And they'll say, listen, you've done 2 years. We'll give you 2 years on the minimum. We're going to do 2 years on both counts. You served 8 months. You got to serve the rest of this 2 years, and then the rest of your 2 years you can do in a conditional home confinement. Now that I can see.
I agree with that. Back into that, I just say I don't see him in there longer than 7 years behind bars. I think, but
yeah, that's not going. He's not going to do 7 years behind the bar. That's not going to happen. I can almost guarantee you, with no criminal history, he ain't gonna get that. But I've seen stranger happen. You might be right.
I like that scenario going, by the way.
I think so too. I just off the top of my head.
His extra pulse there. I miss his terms a hell of a lot more than Louis. Literally 100%.
So I asked Google, what would a mock sentencing calculation for data using the federal
that's why he said Louis
and a breakdown of real cases with similar charges and how much time they got. So what Google said is 3.4 to 4.2 years in federal prison, and how they got it based off offense level 14, aggravating factors, plus 8 points total, use of drugs, abuse of power. influence multiple victims, obstruction of justice. Final offense 22, criminal history category, no priors. The judge has discretion to go above, and it also says they're assuming with 2 counts, 10 years max per count. Aggravating factors would be the use of drugs, abuse of power, multiple victims, obstruction of justice, no prior felony records. Results, offense level 22, giving him a criminal category history of 1 with a clean record. Guideline sentencing range 41 to 51 months, 3.4 to 4.2. And that's them comparing it to what this judge has given in the past when it came to realistic sentence range.
So that's essentially 4 years.
Yeah.
Now, did they say on both counts, like 4 as an 8?
That was for both. It said B. This is just damn Google
Right.
AI.
No, I get it, but it's still compiling information though, based on what you asked.
It's a mock federal sentencing calculation for Diddy's conviction based off of what this particular judge has done in the past under 18th USC 2421, which is the Mann Act.
Yeah, that's about what I said too. 2 on both. So you got 2 counts, 2 on both.
Yes.
4 years max for 51 months. Yeah. That's around that. Do 85% of that, and he's got credit for time served too. So that's 8 months out of a 2-year sentence already. 8 out of the 24. You go do the rest. Do the other 16. You do the other 2 at home. If he's got good attorneys and and the judge is not some hard ass. Now, this is from the defense's aspect. If I'm on the prosecution, I want this motherfucker to do 5 apiece on both. I'll meet him halfway.
But this is based off of that.
Okay. That's making sense. Yeah, that's making sense. 5 on both. Right.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the judge has the ability to not have to do, well, and it's not typical, but the judge has the ability to do an uneven amount on both sentences, right? I can give you 2 on one and 5 on the other.
Yeah, partially.
That's not normal, but I mean, he or she does have the right to do that.
But this is based off his past. But you gotta also remember too, he might look at Diddy as because this has happened in the past before with judges where they use you as the example.
That is true.
Because this is a highly publicized case. So I asked for a mock based off of this judge and his past cases and what it would look like. That's it.
Yeah, but I agree with that. I mean, you can definitely be the example. That was speaking more to what Dan was saying. Like, listen, you're a black man. I'm gonna use you as an example. Whatever, however we factor that, into the decision. But the flip side of that, I can, if I'm a defense attorney, I'm like, listen, now you're giving me more ammunition. Why did you give this? I'm gonna go start looking over cases. Why did you give different cases? You didn't give him.
Right.
Well,
I was be like, look, this is not what he has done before.
Yep.
Where am I? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Based on what you're saying, Quinn. He could do 5 on one and then 2 on the other. What would be the conditions for him to have 2 different types of different time sentences on pretty much the same charges? Is it the egregiousness of it or the severity of it?
If they were 2 different charges, I would imagine. Listen, you're talking to somebody very admittedly who is not an attorney and by any stretch of the fucking imagination. So I'm only saying this based on what general common sense would say, which is not accurate, by the way, obviously, but just, what would make sense based on past cases. I don't see a scenario where you get 2 different times of both. I do think it's possible, though. I don't prove it, but I do think it's possible.
But that would be based off of the harm that was caused to each person.
I would agree, yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So, like, say like with, I think, and it could be two different. And I, now that you brought that up, it could be two different, because if you look at the testimony that was coming from Cassie versus the other witness, it's like they're gonna take. Would he take that into consideration? What her abuse looks like for the years of abuse, the psychological abuse versus the time that she did and the violence that occurred between the two, right? And the drugging and coercion that, like, for Cassie, it may be more time given for what occurred to her versus the other.
Yep, agreed. That's the only scenario where I can see it would be two different. And listen, that very well may happen. I don't know. We don't know. And that would be hard for a defense to fight against, because you could say, listen, he did damage to this woman over this amount of time. This happened to her. This other one, he's still paying her rent. Shit, fuck her. Victim
impact statements that Dr. A.G. brought up. That also influences. I've watched a lot of cases on court TV back in the day when I was a kid, and those impact statements can fucking really change the time.
Yep.
If you serve.
But again, there's something that both sides of that can do. Like, the other one can come and say, listen, I'm not. Listen, 7 years, that's okay, if you're going to do 7 years, let him do, because it's all negotiable at this point, but it's really upon the judge to say what he wants to do. So it's like, listen, he'll do the 2 years, let him do the 2 years, because it's all going to run consecutively, I would imagine. Is it consecutive or concurrent? I think it's,
I don't think he can do concurrent. I don't think that's even like.
No, I think it's running consecutive.
Yeah.
So I think that he can. So at that point, he can say, "Listen, I'll do the 2, do the 8 months served, do the 16, and then I'll do the 5 on probation. I'll do the 5 from home confinement, because I don't have a history." You have to factor that in. I don't have a history of this.
So he could do concurrent because of the first time offender laws.
Yeah, no, he could. No, he
could.
Really? Yeah, no, absolutely.
He doesn't have any other felony convictions, so he could do concurrent.
I'm telling you, that factors into it.
Right, so they can say this is a single ongoing lifestyle thing, right? So that would be
out next year, basically.
Pretty much. So you know what? I'm glad you brought that shit up, dude. Because I was thinking he couldn't do concurrent. But if we're talking about a lifestyle thing, 2 women saying they engaged in that lifestyle, and they could say this is concurrent. He is a first-time offender.
Yep.
And both of the crimes are exactly alike, right? Or somewhat exactly alike, with one just having a longer time span. So the judge could look at this as like a single event. So you guys got to take that into consideration as well, too.
Yeah, the prosecution, they wrote in their letter, this is someone facing a maximum of 20 years. They did that on purpose because that's the highest. You know what I mean? Like, that would be the judge being like, this is consecutive and you get the max, which we know is not, that's not going to happen to a first-time offender.
It is not. You can forget the max. That ain't going to happen. Forget max. It's not. Max would be if he's done this before, he's had state charges, he's had, some criminal charges here and there, then he's in some trouble. But a first-time offender, you can take max off the table.
Look at us acting like lawyers and watch a lawyer come in here and say that motherfucker.
Right.
None of us went to school and then somebody
I
gonna
feel
come
safe
in here.
in my assumption.
Me too.
No, but I was going based off of the prosecution's letter. You know what I mean? That they were saying, hey, judge, he's eligible for 20 years max. So
no, but you didn't say in the beginning, which I didn't agree with you at first. Mentally, I just stayed on mute because I really don't know because I'm not a lawyer. You did say it could be concurrent. You are right, because I'm just listening to everybody talk. It's like, yeah, we said first time offender, and this has happened before. Let me tell you something. My mom used to be a school teacher. My mom used to be a school teacher when I was growing up. And y'all some shitty ass parents when y'all school teachers. Y'all make us watch History Channel, fucking Court TV, AE Biography, and I used to have to watch Court TV. And child, concurrent first time offender.
Your mother made you watch
Yeah, you know I did it. Get to come home and watch it.
Patty, can I say this real quick? Because I'm
Go ahead.
Hey everybody. This is just too much. No, babe. No, I went and told him I had to move my car out of handicap.
Hey, wait, Lisa. I got mad at you the other night, and you know I love you.
I love you too. You girl, ain't nobody gonna ever change the way I feel about you. I don't even remember what the fuck happened. I don't even care. I didn't even go back and listen to it.
Okay, so I'm just making a public apology. I love you, and I love Lisa, and if I cuss her out and she cuss me out, that's between us. That ain't nobody to fucking come up and say.
And Patty's gonna be part of my family pretty soon. She'll know why, but she is. But okay, hold on. Let me do this real quick because I told him I was moving my car out of handicap. So I was talking, these people think they know everything. I'm working with all men today. I'm so fucking tired. I want to go home so bad because they're just in here fucking celebrating. But I told him, I said, listen, yes, it's a first time, right? But the victim statements, like you just said, Patty, are way heavy. This judge is not gonna have no sympathy. You guys think this judge is gonna have sympathy for sentencing on him? All of the proving that he set somebody's car on fire, the shit that he was dragging women around. I mean, all that shit has been proven. The judge is not gonna have. He gonna do what he gotta do. He gonna follow the guidelines. So I don't even know if there are mandatory sentencing guidelines for this. I don't know. But these fucking doctors in here are all saying, "Oh, he gonna get time." There's no way in the fucking world. I think the judge is gonna give him what he needs to have and get him off the streets. Because I read up on this judge. He's a cool dude, but he ain't no sucker. So that's all I gotta say. I'll see you guys in about an hour.
Patty just did
So Lisa, I did a mock based off of this judge's past. So I'll tell you exactly what the question is. I gotta go back home. I gotta go backwards on my.
Yeah, but that was a good question too. Like it was well constructed to get a good answer. Yeah, whatever that. Listen, I ain't no AI user, so I gotta get used to that shit.
But thanks for bringing us looking into the judge, Lisa, because I've never looked into the judge.
So the question I asked was based on a mock federal sentencing calculation for Diddy's conviction under 18th U.S.C. Mann Act 2421. What would be the likely sentencing range based off of the judge that is currently hearing Diddy's sentencing? Period. That was it. Right. And then what came up was the estimated guideline range, 3.4 to 4.2 years in federal prison. It's based off of similar cases that he has seen and cases that he's seen overall. They said base level offense 14, aggravating factors plus 8 total, use of drugs, abuse of power, multiple victims, obstruction of justice, which gives him a final offense level of 22. Criminal history category 1, which means he has no priors. The judge's discretion based off of what he's done in previous cases, a breakdown of the hypothetical sentence, federal sentencing guideline estimates, 2 counts, 10 years max, aggravating factors, no prior felony, which results in offense level 22, criminal history category 1, which we all said no prior offenses. Guideline sentencing range would be, and this is under this judge from his past sentencing, 41 to 51 months, which is 3.4 to 4.2 years in federal prison. This particular judge, a mock question of what the Mann Act would look like for him. Now, the only thing, if he does go above that, that means he's not using what his usual sentencing was in previous court cases. So if he does go above that, in my mind, it's because Diddy is a public figure and he may be using him as an example. Like, don't fuck with women.
And also, Patty, just like what Dr. A.G. said, he did hear a whole lot of fucking evidence that even though the jury has not found him guilty, could lead to why he could be a danger to the public.
Right, but then this judge has also seen previous cases. So I put the Mann Act specifically specifically because what those charges were based off of the Mann Act.
Yeah.
So those charges were Mann Act. So obviously he's had cases before where men. I mean, it's New York City, and Mel will tell you there's a lot of fucking men in New York City that beat the shit out of their women and do shit that's crazy. Like we were talking earlier, the shit that we've seen in newspapers growing up as a kid. The shit that we see that's being advertised. And
I just sent one to Dr. Goddess that happened yesterday.
Yeah, New York is a fucking whole nother animal. Like, so like.
But like if the
This ain't his first Mann Act case.
Right. No, this makes sense. But like, just think about what he just heard. Right. That didn't get that the jury did not find him guilty on. But like, in the back of his mind, he knows good and well. Well, he knows just based off of the testimony that Diddy did go into Kid Cudi's house. You know what I mean? And
you know what, Dr. Goddess? Let me tell you, it's crazy, and a lot of people don't realize this until they see a documentary of a big-time dope dealer. In New York, a lot of these people are from another country. And, you know, like, the little articles that's hidden in the newspaper is stuff like torture, like a woman being found in a home that was tortured, beaten, a woman abused, sexually abused. You know, when I was a kid, I was babysitting. My babysitter was this Puerto Rican girl, mother. The girl lives in Miami now. Her father was a fucking pimp. He killed the mom. The shit that was going on in that house that I had no clue because I was a little kid, but after the fact, right, with the little girl, she's my age now and she's in Miami. But the stuff that was going on in that house, when we found out after, and this was our neighbor, like, this is shit, like, and in some countries this shit is acceptable. You know, my dad had a friend that was talking to him. My dad brought this shit up a while ago. Like, he had a friend that he was really close to that was saying, like, his wife was telling my mom that her husband don't love her no more because he doesn't beat her and shit like that. And my dad was talking to him about this shit. And he was like, I don't want to go to jail. It's the United States. Like, this is a thing, like, New York has some torture shit that go on. If y'all even know how the drug torture go, it's not like down south where you shoot a motherfucker. Like, in New York, they'll fucking slice you with a machete. Y'all remember, like, some of these people that's been deported that were big-time dope dealers, they were fucking torturing people. Like, the shit that happens in New York when it comes to torture, like, I can believe he's seen Mann Act cases that's just been as fucking crazy.
Oh, interesting. Okay, interesting.
So it's based on my Google Scholar search here. I got it says that during judges do they can and from what I said they do base their sentences on their perception of a defendant's behavior and history, but it's within the defined legal boundaries. So, like, if they use pre-sentencing reports, like, you know, your criminal history, obviously, character assessments, your conduct during the case, cooperation, your attitude, remorse, and statements from victims if they're applicable, and any aggravating or mitigating factors is what it says. But that perception refers to those sources, so it's structured. It's not arbitrary, if that makes any sense. They take into consideration the offense level, the criminal history, and adjustments for things like obstruction, acceptance of responsibility, or your leadership role. So they can go upward, or they can go upward or downward, according to Google Scholar.
Child, I be using the hell out of that Google, child.
Oh, I will Google Scholar the hell out of it. I don't even use regular. I don't even use regular Google.
Somebody on here tell me they pay $200 a month for ChatGPT. Y'all kiss my ass.
Yeah, why? What for?
I get my hair done. I use Google. I get my hair done every week. Not losing a week of hairdo for fucking ChatGPT. I'll kiss my ass. And they got Gronk on freaking X. That's why sometimes like I looked on Gronk. Y'all heard me before I said I looked at Gronk because sometimes I look at freaking Google and be like, this doesn't make sense. And I try to match it to Gronk. And I'd be like, yo, I looked on Google. That's why I tell y'all, I looked on Google. Look on Google. I ain't talking about just the articles.
And don't they have their own built-in AI in some way too?
Yeah. That's why I be looking on Google. You can use the Google AI.
Because the scholar comes up with that AI thing in the middle. I mean, I think it's AI at least, but yeah, the thing that's right in the middle before they actually give you the resources.
Mm-hmm. And you can look wrong on X.
They were supposed to come back at 1 o'clock, but the prosecution wasn't ready with their letter, so they'll be back at 5.
Ooh, that ain't gonna look good.
Yeah,
For the bail hearing. Well, they're trying to handle the bail hearing because tomorrow court is closed, Friday court is closed, Saturday, Sunday. That's why they're trying to handle it now.
They mailed it. Prosecution
but
did.
you know
submit
whether
the letter. I
he's
read it.
behind prison or if he is released. The thing with Diddy's not like me or you. Diddy has money that's long, so his long ass money can influence anything.
Yeah, please don't think that don't reach in places you can't even
Right.
telling you.
We broke, so we think we gotta be released to let shit happen. Whether he's so like that's why I'm like fear is gonna be fear for these people. Whether he's locked up or he's until they actually give him a sentencing.
Well, there'll be no submission of his funds, so he gonna still be rich, no matter what the sentence comes down, because there's no RICO.
Yeah.
So he will have money. So he's still rich.
Right.
Yeah, you know what? I agree. I agree with the whatever sentence I read from somebody. I forget who it was, but that was money well spent on his defense. You know what I mean? Because with no RICO, you got all the rest of your money. Really?
Yeah, but that's why it's a win for that. It's a win for the defense because their client is not going to do life.
I agree.
They're not going to have their assets or their money seized.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That it was good. It was good for him. What was it? Maybe 15 million.
15 million,
which is
nothing.
Right, because you know what his current worth is right now, as of today, and I just did a Google. He is worth $400 million.
And
that's
after
with
losing
all
a
his
lot of
partnerships. This is with losing his partnership with Ciroc. This is with his legal costs, and that's with 60 cases pending. He is still worth $400 million. So whether he's locked in his mansion for 24/7, fucking getting counseling, being fucking monitored, his ass got $400 million to reach out and touch somebody.
Yeah.
And he will listen. Being remanded to your house doesn't mean that you can't go anywhere. It just means that there's only specific places, depending on the condition, that you can't.
Yeah, the condition that they're asking for is to go to Florida, New York, and LA.
Ooh,
No.
So if that's what the defense is asking for, I'm saying.
Too far.
No, that's what the defense put in their letter. I'm serious.
Yeah, that's
crazy. I'm saying I think they're stretching there.
Yeah, they're stretching.
I wouldn't even do that.
I wouldn't. You know what? Honestly, I think if they did say they're going to release him, they'll probably release him to his New York State or his Jersey mansion. That way they can reach out and touch his ass. But I don't know about him being able to travel.
Well, he's asking he wants to go back to his Star Island home.
Yeah.
But he wants to be able to travel to the other 2 locations, which is LA and New York.
I think they'll give him one, and that's where your ass gonna be.
I agree.
That's what I would do. Now, that's my novice opinion, but I'm like, you're not gonna be traveling. Cut the games.
Yeah, he's been access to Instacart. He's been access to Instacart and Uber.
Yeah, real talk, for real.
How you gonna be all adamant with traveling? Is that one step too far for you?
But that's just, I mean, come on.
But he wants to do a freak off in LA. There's women he wants to have fun.
Yeah, we gotta let it. Listen, if he's gonna enact,
it's July 4th, guys. Come on.
And you can't have no visitors either.
Twin, have you heard Mel's business plan for Diddy?
What's the business plan?
Mel,
I told you. He should open up a brothel, and then he should open up like 3 swinger locations in Florida, Houston, and LA, Miami, to be exact. And then you should also, it'll be Bad Boys porn, And he should also be able to mold his penis and sell dildos and have a toy line.
You know what I would do if I was
Because
Puff?
you know what, he could have been. You know what. We was talking about Quinn. He could have been comfortable doing all this shit he was doing legally, if he would have just went on ahead and just not being trying to keep it a secret. He could have did all this shit legal. You live in Atlanta. They do this shit in Atlanta. Ain't nobody going to
Listen,
prison.
there is regular people that do this shit. I don't want y'all to be confused.
I know. I told him that.
There's you can go to them places. That we have a place where you can do that shit down here.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I mean,
They got a club.
Yeah, exactly.
Club.
And regular nights in this month, like, yo, listen, I've been asked to go to one of them. I'm not even going to fucking watch. I don't even want to.
You talking about Jackie?
Yeah, I'm like, yo, I'm not going to that shit. Like, I'm not going to, because I just don't, I mean, it just ain't my cup of tea, that ain't my interest. But I know that there's people I know who do go to that shit.
Brooklyn says she goes. She just doesn't.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah,
I never want to run into Brooklyn.
She be watching, she said. But no, so we were talking about that because we were talking about Diddy versus Prince, and we were saying that like Prince did all of this stuff, but I don't know that. I don't think that. No. Prince did a lot of that
It's the
stuff.
thing that his house used to have pages. They would have sex parties, sex orgies. Drug was involved, but guess what? He did it to have fun, just like they do at Trapeze, right?
Word, and that's perfectly fine. Now, I've been in his house in Shannon Austin before, but I mean, you know, now it's a museum of some sort. But I mean, there's parts of it they won't show you. But I mean, I can tell you there's probably a lot of places in that house where he could have done that. No question about it. But I don't know that to be the case. I can't say that with any degree of certainty.
But I don't think that with Diddy it was just about keeping a secret. I think Diddy he's really, really sick in the head. And for him it is about domination and control.
But he
It's
said
like
that they're done too. Dr. God, you know there's these women that love abuse. That's their sexual fetish. He could have did that legally.
That's their love language.
No, but that's true. But I was saying, but if they're doing it willingly, that's not what Diddy wants.
Yeah, he doesn't want them to be willing.
Which one is that?
Yeah.
But the prostitutes were willing, right?
This is about control. It's not about.
There's no power flex in that. He wants to He wants to be the first one to give them drugs. He wants to be the first to have them addicted to drugs, and then introduce them to this. He wants that whole experience.
And that's so between what I was saying. What makes Diddy different from this like the Prince is that Prince seemed to be somebody that really, really loved having his people like reach ecstasy, you know what I mean, and like really enjoy themselves. That's not what was described in the Freak Off.
Well, I mean, if he was doing it, do you think anybody? Do you hear anybody talking shit about it?
No.
No, there you go.
Mr. Prince in the chat said BDSM is not abuse, guys.
It isn't.
But it's not.
If
It's
it's
not.
accepted.
But that's not what he was doing. That's what I'm. It's not. That's the point. Diddy is not somebody that wanted to do BDSM. Like they weren't getting. Like I never heard like in the freak offs, right? That nobody described beating anybody. You know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. It's what Mel said. He wants a type of domination and control that is like next level. It's not BDSM. Because you have to agree to it. You agree to be dominated, or you agree to be the submissive one. He don't want no agreement.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I had to look up what BDSM meant.
Oh no.
Straight up.
Look, this one might be algorithm messed up, so don't just he's the D on another level. Your algorithm will go to different places, and you might not want to go.
Yeah, I mean, I know what those things are, but I ain't never know that as an actor.
Look at what
Look at the chat.
Oh yeah, somebody down there streaming. There's an anonymous person streaming. That's what they're saying. Well, I don't consent to being that.
Hey, y'all, it's been a minute.
Whoever the dickhead is.
Wait, put the song, somebody. Put a copyrighted song.
Put a song. Oh, I want to say hi to somebody. There's somebody in the goo. I can't really see. I forgot. I know you. I'm sorry, because my eyes are dilated. That guy with the red hat at the bottom. What's his name?
Dr. Mister? Is that who you talking about?
John Kidman is a star.
Hey, Dr. Mister, where you been? Last time we spoke, you was putting cheese on your spaghettis, but it was like slices of cheese. I don't know.
Oh my God! Lock him up.
I'm gonna pray for you. I don't forget nothing. That was like 2 years ago. And that was the last time you was on this app. You was putting slices of cheese on your pasta.
That's disgusting.
What's going on?
Hey, how are you?
What's going on? I still put slices of cheese on my spaghetti. I still do it.
Oh, God, are you serious?
No, I just wanted to say hi. Long time no see.
Long time no see, man. I'm over here listening to what y'all saying. This Diddy stuff crazy, but yeah. I still do the spaghetti and sliced cheese every now and then.
Wow.
He said, wow.
Yeah, that's...
You see, there's things from a long time ago that I don't forget, stuff like that. But shit from 5 minutes ago, don't ask me because I don't remember.
I am dying. Wait, so Mr. Prince, you said Diddy wouldn't be welcomed in the BDSM community. He would be blacklisted. Please explain yourself.
Yeah, so like say for instance, when it comes to a lot of the venues that we attend for these parties, for example, have these kink activities. Like a lot of times alcohol is not allowed, a lot of times drugs are not allowed. And if you are perceived to be high or inebriated, under the influence, you'll get asked to leave. You'll get removed. And when it comes to I won't say all, but definitely some swinger venues are the same way when it comes to that. They may have BYOB, but they are still watching to make sure that you are, still have all of your faculties and stuff like that. Like you said, just when it comes to BDSM and kink, it's something that you have to consent to without coercion. I want to stress that, without coercion, any of that. And then of course, if you are under the influence, a lot of people won't fuck with you because, you can't really give consent right now because you high, you fucked up, you out the brain. So no.
Yeah, but you can hire someone, right?
What say again?
You can hire someone that's into all that, right? Because I know that's what I was bringing up when I told Mel. You remember when you was a kid and the wanted ads, it'd be like they'll have these people that actually sell off their services as doing the BDSM.
And I'm one of them, but
yeah.
I have that in any type of request form that I have people to fill out. I let them know you're not supposed to be high. You're not going to be drinking before a scene that we do or a session that we do. Because I'm not fucking with that. I don't want that risk on me. I'm already having to weigh a lot of risk with meeting a stranger, paid or not. Even if I am the one beating their ass, or having them on their knees crawling on the floor or whatever, it's still a risk for me, and I don't want you high or drunk.
Prince said he ain't gonna be on Diddy's service.
Period.
Prince, there are at least a couple of people in here that have been very, very bad girls. What can we do?
Not me. I'm good. I don't want nobody to see
Don't be on like Donkey Kong. Don't be hitting.
I'm old school. I don't want to see no whips and chains. I see any of that, I'm walking out. I might call the police.
Don't need whips and chains.
Dr. Goddess, what did you tell Patty?
I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that from Dr. Goddess, but okay.
Oh my God.
I didn't even get to hear her. What she said?
I said I am not coming. If I come to your house, and I see whips and chains, I might be calling the police. I'm scared. Ain't no BDSM happening over here.
I don't want that. Nothing with letters. I'm good.
I'm just dying because did you hear what I said?
No, I didn't hear what you said.
You missed the whole thing. So I was like,
She said some of us have been bad girls. That said not me. I've been good. I don't need no things.
Wait, I mean, look, it wasn't even 2 seconds later, and Patty was like, "Not me. Don't come.
Let me tell you, I'm a victim of DV. You do any fuck shit to me, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. Then I'm gonna call the cops.
That part.
Oh, oh my God. Yep. I remember when I found out that there was a. Let me see. First, what did I find out first? I think I heard about. I mean, I guess technically it's BDSM, but what I heard about were like it was like the white community that they were like deep into spanking, and it was something like religious. You know what I mean? Like they really believed that, like, you know, a woman is like a child, and you know, she needs to be punished and stuff like that, right? So then I discovered somebody pointed me to a black group that was like, yeah, kind of more openly. What was it? What is it called? You know what it's called? Yeah,
Well, say for instance, you could be either talking about domestic discipline or taking it.
Yes, it was domestic discipline. It was
Gotcha.
it was
that's
black domestic
more,
discipline, and I was like, y'all are crazy as hell.
Yeah, that's more religion-based foundation, and then also slightly a bit of 1950s. It like dives further into the gender roles in that particular instance, stuff like that. So like if in this case, if the wife doesn't do the chores or take care of the household or procrastinates on doing stuff, the guy may actually put her over his knee and spank her, or you know, paddle her, or whatever the case may be. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
Y'all, I was
doing too much.
That they were doing way too much. I was in the group like as an observer, and I was crying. I mean, like I was like, they're serious. Like, oh my God, they're serious. Like people were like, y'all, I didn't do the dishes today. Oh my God, my bottom is gonna be so red. I was like, you know what? You know what?
Different strokes.
You pee on me, I'm calling the police.
Now, how did we go there? How did we get there?
You nut on me, I'm calling the police. That means you ain't got no condom on.
I swear, y'all take it to the extreme.
You donkey punch me, I'm shooting you in your goddamn eye.
Oh my God. And look, y'all, they like the men, they would be texting them. They would be threatening them, like sending them text messages like, yeah, when I get home, because they would be like, you know, are the dishes done or something like that. You know, they'd be like, if they ain't done when I get home, that's your ass tonight and stuff like that. Y'all, they were like, oh my God, y'all, look at what he sent me. Look at the text message he sent me.
I'm sorry, I'm lost. These are real people? What are we talking about?
Yes, I'm not necessarily in domestic discipline.
Interesting.
I'm in the BDSM and King. Yes, we're real people.
Wait, they're calling it domestic discipline?
Well, that's what Dr. Goddess was asking.
That's one form, right? That's okay.
Well, you ask people that's in domestic discipline, they will shut you down quick if you say they're BDSM and King. They don't want any affiliation with BDSM and King. It's kind of it's weird. It's a blurred line. It's a line that can get blurred quite easily for sure for those on the outside.
So y'all Google. You can Google.
Yeah. There's books on it. Books on that. Yeah.
Google domestic discipline, and then click on images, and you gonna see
gotta mess up algorithm.
Go into incognito first.
Go incognito.
Yeah.
But Google that and click on images and see it's a whole bunch of people getting spanked. There's cartoons, and I was like, y'all are out of your damn mind. And the thing is, like, they come. I mean, remember I was in the black group, so like all the stats like about marriage or like domestic violence or like anything negative, you know, in the black community, they believe that this can all be straightened out with black domestic discipline. And so I was just be in there screaming. I mean, I was like, why did I get introduced? Like, don't introduce somebody like me to this, because I can't. First of all, I mean, just the rules alone. Like, if I gotta keep the house pristine, I'm getting beat every day. Okay, so that can't happen. Then it was always like, it was just ridiculous. But they were serious, and I was like, and then there were a couple people that were like, I'm in college, I just can't concentrate. I really need someone to keep me together. And they were like, yeah, I can do it. Where you at? I was like, you know what? Because you can't study. You need to be spanked in order for you to study. I can't. That was a trip. That was a wild ride. When did I leave that group? I don't know, maybe like 6 years ago, something like that. But it was very funny.
What platform was this on, Dr. Guys?
I don't really want to say. No, actually, it's on Facebook. So that's how I found
it. There's a lot on Facebook. A lot of different.
Yeah, that's how I found it. And I was like, when they say Black domestic discipline, I was like, oh, okay, like what's that? And then I didn't know anything about it. Then I realized that the Black people are getting it from the white people. Like literally, when I went back to like the creation of the group, all of the memes, the cartoons, the excerpts, they were all white authors and white men spanking white women in cartoon or in real life. And I was just like, I'm not understanding. Like, one, first of all, this is unacceptable even in the white community. And number two, why Black people, why are you adopting this?
I don't know if it's fair to say that we're getting it from white people. Like that's some.
Well, they did.
Like even when it came to BDSM, people claim that's some white people shit. Why are we taking this on? That's white people shit. It's not. Like Black people have ties to BDSM and kink and domestic discipline, just as gay leather men have ties to World War II, coming back and doing this thing and having this secret hanky code and so on and so forth. So no, it's not just white people. There were Black people that were part of this from the beginning.
But isn't domestic discipline like a set?
Well, who is? Well, I mean, if you want to say we got it from white people, because when it comes to the religion, that is typically foundation of domestic discipline. If you're talking about Christianity and so on, then yeah, for sure. But I guarantee you will come across, if you were still in that group, Black people in domestic discipline that practice African spirituality and incorporate that into their domestic discipline, for example. But if you're talking about the religion itself that's being the foundation, I can see where you're coming from.
Well, I mean, that was the group that I was in. That was a group. But I mean, But I did, like I said, it was very interesting just to read, like, all the stats about single mothers, for example. They believe, that could be solved with domestic discipline. And, violence, not studying in school, like it could all be solved with domestic discipline. And I was just like, y'all, clearly I am one of the wayward ones. I'm one of the undisciplined in the community. I'm a detriment to the community because I will never submit to this bullshit. That was my assessment.
See, I need to get off the Clubhouse because I can see a way to monetize this, writing books about. I can't do this. No, I've got to have some kind of standards here. I need to leave y'all alone. Dr. Goddess, this is your fault. I blame you.
I'm sorry.
You know what's so crazy? He said something about white people when I did a Google search, and it was talking about how African societies use physical endurance, restraints, body modifications, initiations into adulthood involving whipping, canning, fasting, isolation, public performance, obedience, and ritual bondage.
Don't threaten me with isolation. I try that as much as I possibly can from the public.
I guess I ain't gonna be African enough either.
Yeah, I can't do it.
I mean, Patty, she didn't even wait 2 seconds. I was like, Prince, there's been some people in here that have been very bad girls. She was like, not me. You come at me with that.
Yeah. I even said, like, I'm making it clear, if you're not on me, I'm calling the police because you should have had a condom on. We started off with a condom, somehow you slipped that motherfucker off.
Oh, I am crying. Oh my goodness.
Y'all are too funny.
So, what do y'all do about the people? How do you know the people are streaming in here? How do y'all find that out?
Isn't it usually the echo you hear in the background or something?
Oh, is that what it is?
What'd you say, Quinn?
I said, how do you find out? How do y'all determine that people are streaming the room? How do you figure that out?
Oh, I don't. So other people tell us. They'll tell us in the back channels, or they'll say it in the chat, like someone's streaming the room. This particular kid guy is a weird dude. He's like obsessive. He's obsessed with streaming rooms.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know people was doing that prior to this, but I mean that anonymous. Well, I don't understand why they even let. I mean, you could tell Clubhouse is trying to create some kind of parody by doing that, by allowing people to be in rooms anonymously. Like, what would be the point of being in a room anonymously?
I do anonymous when I want to spy on other rooms, and I don't want them to know. I would even grace their halls, but yeah, I don't do it that often.
So I did ask in the email about a 5-minute time limit, and I think a lot of people have been complaining from what, because I think Mel was in there earlier, and then I came into the Clubhouse room, and they were saying that people in the chat were saying this anonymous thing is going too far.
I mean, we can see what that was. I mean, obviously, there's nothing but a bunch of deviants on this fucking thing to begin with. Like, who couldn't have foreseen that being a problem?
Right, I get it if it's 5 minutes, okay? 5 minutes max, maybe even 10 minutes, but like, to sit in a room, this fool sits in a room, then he's really weird. This dude claims they say he's ran for a seat, but he sits in rooms, has multiple phones. He has a mental health issue. This John Kipman guy has some type of mental health issue. I'm not the one to diagnose him because I ain't his doctor. I'm not a doctor. But just looking at his page, he's weird. Like, at this point, he stalks people. He's a stalker.
He hasn't raised $1 for his congressional campaign yet.
He is a stalker. Like, somebody need to do a health check on him. And whoever watches his page, he is crazy. If you ever see this stream or whatever video he's recording, this man is crazy, y'all. He should never win any office. He shouldn't even have a job at McDonald's. He's a threat. Until he gets some mental health, some type of behavioral person, something's wrong with him.
He'd be having rooms on Clubhouse, no one ever comes in.
Yeah, talking to himself. And then he got the nerve. I wouldn't even have that stuff recorded. I keep that to myself. If you go to his pages on Clubhouse, he has rooms where he's the only face in there.
Wait, but recorded of that?
Yes, he has recordings. You know how he doesn't turn the replays off? The replays is here. Wow. Look at the document.
Is he talking? Is he talking or is he sitting there silent?
Go check out the chat. I just put it in the chat.
Wow.
I hope he's recording this for his VA medical health specialist so that they can help him with his mental health issues, because he's crazy. And he'll never, he can't work in public. He can't. He needs to have non-workable 100% VA disability. He can't be in society until he gets some type of help.
He even has a screenshot of our PTRs. This man is off the chain.
He's crazy.
I said last week that this guy had a mental illness, and I think it was Sloan who said to me, how could I, in the chat, why do I say he has mental illness just because he's doing this? This is obsessive compulsive behavior.
Yeah, at this point, so long with him on damn nerves.
This is way beyond.
Salome be booty clapping and shit, and her ass won't come on stage no more because she's scared of the motherfucker. Girl, shut up. At this point. That's why I was like, girl, shut up. You won't even come on stage because you scared. You want us to accept bullshit.
Who's that? Are you talking about that?
Let me be quiet. She ain't in here. I'll wait till she in here so she can defend herself.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I agree.
I don't like saying stuff about people when they ain't around.
I'm back.
Okay. Who's on back? My belly now?
Yo, my eyes are dilated, and I couldn't see the machine trying to put in the PIN number to pay for my food. And my husband outside, and I'm trying to get his attention. A freaking hot mess. Unbelievable. You know when they check your eyes, they dilate your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I needed those Stevie Wonder glasses that they be giving you.
Girl, these motherfuckers dilated my eyes one day and then have me sitting there for an hour and that's why I don't fuck with.
Because you was driving, right?
No. Yeah, but this why
I don't drive.
In the Army, they be like, you cannot get your eyes dilated without having a driver. Civilians, these motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's the way they do it over here too.
They point out and be like, drive home. Motherfucker, I knew the stop signs because they red. I was like, they done lost their fucking mind.
They only had me sit for like 20 minutes to turn my ass loose, but then I was sitting in the store trying to buy my glasses too, so I guess I can't.
My husband, since he's the one that drives, he doubles up his thing. So he uses the little one they give him that curls up, and then he'll put his shades on top of those, so that he's able to drive. Oh my God. Well, they say I don't need glasses, guys. My eyes is getting, I know I can see the difference from last year to this year, but they said it's not as, I don't need glasses, reading glasses, should I say. Maybe next year I'll need them.
They told me the same too, but that's because my eyes was my eyes are messed up. So it's like sometimes I can be all good all day, and then there's these days that sometimes I'll blur.
I think I'm just tired at that point. That's what happens to me. Usually around 7 p.m. That's what starts happening to my eyes. They start blurring. I can't. When I look at the screen, trying to look at you guys is like.
So maybe you get some of those blue light glasses or whatever. Yeah, my partner wears those sometimes, and he got an ugly ass pair.
Maybe I'll put them on
a cute pair.
Welcome to old age.
In October, so I can say that I'm fishing.
But every time I get my eyes checked, they come out perfect. That's the bad.
Yeah, I was reading the smallest line at the bottom, and then they told me to read this book and this little paragraph, and it was the paragraph that was all the way at the bottom, and I was able to read it.
Yeah, that's how I read.
But I tell them at times my eyes go out. I be like that. What the fuck that says?
Yeah, that's what I had to tell them my eyes go out. That's why sometimes I'm like, Lord, let me get my glasses, because then my eyes are acting up. And then there's times that I just read, I can go 2 days with no problem, and then one day it's just start blurring automatically.
CEO, what happened? You came back because Brooklyn left?
I didn't know Brooklyn left. I just am on my little break in between meetings. No, Brooklyn's cool, but she just is out of control. It's like she don't care about evidence. A lot of people do. They don't care about the evidence at all. It's Rico, and it just doesn't seem like he did.
I mean, she said she sends to swingers parties, so it's a lot of that is, your normal and my normal is different. So you know what I'm saying? People just don't see anything wrong with certain things, but there, of course, everything has limits, right? Does this hurt the sex worker industry or not? I kind of think it does. No? What do y'all think about that? Because people are not going to want to pay these people.
It doesn't promote the sex worker industry, no?
Well, I was going to say it's going to be difficult for these people to get paid, right?
No, money's always up front. What are we talking about?
Or they'll just figure out ways around it. It won't stop that. You know, that's the oldest time.
Wait, do they take Venmo or not?
Some people do.
I'm sure they probably do.
Zelle, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal.
Also noted, a lot of people wouldn't have come if they weren't subpoenaed. They wouldn't have even shown up. I mean, the basis of what they do is anonymity. In a lot of ways. But yo, this motherfucker is still streaming this shit. That's crazy. I'm like watching my text messages pop up on this shit. It's crazy.
Wait, who's still screaming?
Kitover.
Yeah, whoever the
John Kitover.
Well, I have a question. I just got an answer from YouTube that they received my report and they're going to be investigating.
When did you do yours? Because I need to see if YouTube emailed me.
Go to your junk emails, Patty.
I got it at 12:32. That took a time. Hope you heard that, gentlemen. He usually ends up making the room private after that.